if we're striving to look for God's will in everything, that's not so easy to do. You can't always just sort of say, okay, oatmeal or granola. God, I need to sort of, or somebody, things happen, life happens. There's someone walking towards you and, okay, last time our interaction wasn't so good, so this time I need to do a little better, and God's will would say, no, I need to do this, but then the person's over there by the time you figure out what God's will is supposed to be in this interaction. So how do we do this? How do we live more in God's will in a way that we can really put this into effect in everything? Well, one way to figure out how to do that is to look at those who are a little bit more advanced in the path, a little bit higher consciousness, not necessarily all the way to the avatars, but let's look, for example, at Swami Kriyananda. Swami Kriyananda lived in that divine flow and that will through years of practice, of self-surrender, of discipleship to his guru, Yogananda. He was always in that flow of knowing what to do. Part of it was a conscious asking of just a background, what's your will, what do you want me to do, Master, what should I do? But part of it was just being in that energy. And there's many, many stories that of him just probably not taking a lot of time and being a lot of conscious and a lot of rational thought about it, but just being there with God's will. I mean, I love reading the book that Asha edited and is Swami Kriyananda as we have known him, and there's story after story in there of just how Swami would say something to somebody just on passing that went right to what that person was doing, or even cases of healing. He was at just a gathering at the Crystal Hermitage, and he would come up behind someone and just put his arm on him, and somehow sending energy and acting as a channel for God's will, and actually was able to cure a hurt or a long-standing pain that person had suffered. And Kriyananda he lived in that flow. And it was, the important example is that it's that divine will, it's an energy, it's a flow. We're in the age of Dwapara Yuga, and when we can get into that higher consciousness, that higher flow, we're automatically doing what's God's will. It's not something that's greatly mysterious or hard to figure out. When we're closer to that oneness, which is the underlying factor, the underlying base of the universe, that is God's will.